Happening now, the parents of a slain 22-year-old say threats forced them to relocate to another state. The IRS are cautioning homeowners about prepaying their property taxes.
I'm Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter in the First Defense Weather Center. These are the current temperatures out there. It is frigid and it gets even worse. We'll break it down next. Big night for high school hoops in Randolph. Tyler Hinder scores 33, and the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA basically give up. They're blowing out in New Orleans. That's the story next in sports.
That's News Now for Thursday, December 28th, 2017.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us this Thursday. I'm Justin Gould. Our top story: 1 month ago to this day, 22-year-old Dylan Ownby was stabbed and left to die on the corner of Willard and Peterson Streets here in Jamestown. WNY News Now has learned that the death threats towards Ownby's parents, Howard Ownby and Shauna Workman, have caused them to move out of New York State. Howard Ownby says they've given police enough evidence to put someone behind bars.
I mean, we've given them enough evidence to put somebody away. I mean, I guess I'm not seeing the big picture here. They're trying to make it stick and get a big arrest or a big bust or something, but they don't let us know anything. They tell me they can't tell me anything. They haven't even told me. All they say is, okay, thanks. Wish I could tell you more, but the case is going well. That's all they keep saying to me. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what to believe anymore. I think the kid had a good head on his shoulders. I think he was wanting to move here and straighten up his life, They were supposed to do that in a couple more days, and then they took his life. Police department needs to step up and start manhandling these thugs. It's just ridiculous.
The Jamestown Police Department remains tight-lipped on this investigation. The owner of a Jamestown bar says he's selling his establishment because it's time to move on. Justin Lindell owned the Q Bar on West 2nd Street for 10 years.
A lot of people have that dream of owning a bar. And then also, my kids, I had to do something where I could maybe work nights and be with my kids all day. So, I lost out on sleep because I'd just be with the kids all day, and I'd go to the bar at 10 at night, be home at 2, 3 in the morning after we closed. So for me, it worked out. That's why I opened the bar and made a run at it. And just, it got to the time my kids are a little older now, and I've moved on to other ventures. And for me, it's just time to pass it on to another young entrepreneur that to do something great, or maybe needs time to spend with their family, or, kind of like I did.
Lindell posted the news of the sale on his Facebook page Christmas Eve. In that very same post, Lindell said that Miley's and Mojo's were also up for sale. We reached out to the owner of Miley's Old Inn, who refused to comment for this story. Authorities in Troy, New York are investigating a quadruple homicide. Police there say 4 people were found dead inside that home on Tuesday, shortly after noon local time. Police Chief John Tedesco says their job now is to bring the person responsible to justice.
The emotions of a police officer are something you repress because there's a job to be done. But nobody that's been involved in this case is going to ever forget this, I can tell you that. But there's a job to be done here, and it's a time for emotions later on. Right now, our job is to bring this person to justice.
Now, police have not released any names or details about the victims, including the cause of death. Now we check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who has more bad news about the cold temperatures that are sweeping our area. Dakota.
Yeah, if you like the cold weather, you're going to like this. If you're not, well, if you don't, then you're not going to like this forecast. Let's take a look at the next 3 days first, so you can plan your next 3 days, especially the beginning of the weekend. So let's break down today's forecast here, so that way you can plan your day accordingly here. So pretty much for this Thursday, light snow showers. They taper off to flurries in the afternoon hours. Quite cold, though. High only around 12 degrees, but at least we have a light wind, so that equates out to little wind chill index. So that is probably the good news out of the whole situation. Now for Friday, a whole bunch of things happen, especially Friday night. Let's break down Friday's forecast. quite quickly so that we can get an idea as to what we're looking at here. So pretty much for tomorrow, snow showers in the morning hours. It becomes more numerous and lake enhanced in the late afternoon hours, going into the evening hours, and just a tad bit warmer. This is going to be the warmest day of the upcoming week pretty much, 17 degrees with a southwest wind 4 to 8 miles an hour. Now, because of this, the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch. There it is, a winter storm watch for it's basically southern Erie, Chautauqua, and Cattaraugus counties, and this goes until 7 a.m. on Saturday. For the potential for some significant lake effect snow coming off Lake Erie. We're probably talking about snow totals around another foot to 2 feet in some spots. So this is going to add on to that snowpack, especially around the northern areas that saw some pretty good snow with this last round. So the lake effect machine just keeps going. It just won't shut off. And so that will continue throughout the next day or so. And then pretty much for the beginning of the weekend on Saturday, still cold though, with the lake effect snow continuing. We'll break down all of that along with that Quick Solutions 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you, Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you. And authorities in a suburban New York City high school say a basketball player was revived after collapsing during a game. The Journal News reports that a 17-year-old Blind Brook High School student went into cardiac arrest on Wednesday during a game against Pella Memorial High School. And according to a local fire department official, a police officer defibrillated the teen and then started CPR before they responded. Officials suspended the game following that medical emergency. It was the first round of the Pelham Holiday Hoops tournament. Coming up next here, the World Juniors in Buffalo say that their ticket sales are slower than expected. And later on, a local museum in downtown Jamestown closes its doors. All when we return.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, 3335 South Roberts Road in Fredonia. More than a music store. Call 679-4333. Call now, 679-4333. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Like great food, great news needs experts. Become a community reporter when you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about. Drop us a line on Facebook today. Speaking of great food, Jeremy's Bellevue offers pasta, classic burgers, seafood, and of course, wings. Visit Jeremy's Bellevue on Facebook. Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back to News Now. Well, it's freezing outside. The action on the ice is hot, and it seems to continue to heat up as Day 2 of the World Juniors Championship Tournament is underway at the First Niagara Center in Buffalo. Although officials report that the setting might be a great setting, attendance numbers seem to be low. Dave Fisher is a spokesperson for the event. He told WIVB-TV that a border city like Buffalo is generally expected to draw all sorts of people from both Canada and the U.S., but this year the numbers have only been in the mid-thousands. The last time the World Juniors played in Buffalo was 2011, where the teams generally played for sellout crowds. And if you're feeling lucky, you may want to buy a lottery ticket. The Mega Million jackpot is now at $306 million. The next drawing is at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. Meanwhile, the Powerball jackpot has jumped up to $384 million after no winners in Wednesday night's drawing. A ticket worth $2 million was sold in Georgia, though. The odds of winning the Powerball drawings are 1 in 292.2 million. The next Powerball drawing is on Saturday. Some homeowners are making a mad rush to get their property taxes filed before 2018. Tax professionals say be prepared for long lines as homeowners try to save thousands of dollars in deductions before the new federal tax code goes into effect. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo signed an executive order last week allowing for prepayments of your taxes. Earlier this week, Cuomo called the tax bill from Washington decisive and partisan.
This tax provision hits the blue states by eliminating the state and local tax deductibility and uses that money to finance the tax cut in the red states. This is the most partisan, divisive legislation we've seen.
And now we go to our chief forecaster, Dakota Hunter, who is standing by in the First Defense Weather Center with a look at what we could see outside. Dakota, it's cold. It's just plain cold.
Yes, it is absolutely cold out there. Let's kick off the weather segment with the Chautauqua Lake Sky Vision camera. How about that? It doesn't even look like the camera is working, but it is working. That's all the snow that accumulated on Chautauqua Lake.
Are you sure that's not Antarctica?
No, that is not
That's
Antarctica.
Chautauqua Lake.
I am 100% certain that's not Antarctica. 13 degrees out there right now, but we have a calm wind, so that's always good. One more stop. How about Olean? This is on in downtown Olean on the Chamber of Commerce building. 8 with a dew point of 0, but at least, you know, they have no wind there either. Let's go on to First Defense Doppler HD, and I'll show you not a whole lot is returning on radar today. We just have the typical ground clutter pattern around the Buffalo Metro and a few little returns out here in Ohio, but nothing so far today, and that is pretty much the good news for that. Now, once again, the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for southern area Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties, and this is for the potential for heavy lake effect snow coming off Lake Erie, especially tomorrow night and early on Saturday, and this goes until Saturday at 7 a.m. And this more than likely will probably be up to a lake effect snow warning probably today, and of course when they do that, we'll pass that on to you when they issue that. Now, the current temperatures out there, it is freezing. Now, I want to mention this. We have a black circle right where the number for Jamestown should be. The weather data at the airport north of the city, which is where all the weather observations are taken for the city of Jamestown, it is actually down for repairs. So we have no data coming in from Jamestown right now, but we do have 12 at Dunkirk, 15 in Erie, that's the warm spot, 7 in Buffalo, 8 in Niagara Falls, 1 in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and officially 9 in Olean down in the Allegheny River Valley. So yeah, it is pretty cold, and that will continue throughout the next week or so. Now for the zones, let's break down tomorrow's forecast, and pretty much it's going to be a little bit warmer though. We've got upper teens showing up here. That's better than lower teens and single digits, but not by much though. Lake effect snow will increase, especially in the afternoon hours. The wind comes up a little bit though, which will create a wind chill index. Now, even with the light wind, you take these numbers and you subtract about 4 or 6 miles an hour at least. Well, you subtract 4 or 6 degrees at least when you have a wind chill index. But even with a light wind like that, it will still bring down the feels like temperatures and make you feel a little bit colder. Eastward into Cattaraugus County, pretty much the same story here. Mid-teens showing up here, pretty much across the board here. Probably about less than an inch of snow showers. The band really doesn't get going in Cattaraugus County probably until later in the day on Friday. So not a whole lot there to write home about. Future scan over the next 24 hours. Let's take you through this, and you can see pretty much not much here, and then it actually starts to clear out. We actually do get to some partial sunshine, it looks like, throughout the day, but then the clouds will start to filter back in, and we will get back into some of that lake effect when the lake starts to adding some of it to it. And I want to mention this because we have a shot of breaking records on New Year's Eve. Now, New Year's Eve, we have a shot of being at or below 0 at midnight when the ball comes down on Monday morning to ring in 2018. Now, the two prime global computer models that we use are, one is being a little bit more conservative, used lightly with these, while the other computer model that we often use is being more aggressive, taking numbers down into the teens, the actual teens. below zero. So, negative digits in the teens. So, but pretty much near or to below zero is a good bet, probably for Sunday evening. And the wind chills likely are going to be at least 10 to 15 below zero, more than likely probably colder. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if we see some sort of a wind chill advisory or wind chill warning issued for that because of the wind chills, and that's the feels like temperature. And this is going to be the coldest New Year's Eve on record since 1962. We have not seen a New Year's Eve this cold when the low temperature, I believe, was in the negative digits. So, yeah. And just for reference, the average high for this time of the year is 31, and the average low for this time of the year is 17. Yikes! Take a detailed look at the forecast. The next 7 days of your life are coming up on the screen, brought to you by Quick Solutions. And there you go, New Year's Eve, we should bottom out at 2 below zero. That is an average low, so keep in mind some spots a little cooler, some spots a little warmer, used figuratively. And this cold factor lasts throughout the next 7 days, and I have been telling you all week that this cold looks like it lasts for the next 10 to 15 days. There is no sign of warmer temperatures anywhere.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm sorry.
The one good thing about the cold temperatures, and I assume you can back this up if I say this, but the Lake Erie,
yes,
will freeze, maybe.
There's sort of truth to that.
Because then if the lake freezes, we
Yes.
get less lake effect snow.
Yes, that's true.
That's correct.
Basically, the lake effect machines shut off when Lake Erie freezes. Now, Lake Ontario has it hardly
It doesn't
ever
freeze because
freezes.
it's too deep. But if
Yeah.
Lake Erie for us can freeze because of this cold, then
So basically, when
snow
Lake Erie
machine-
freezes, we shut off that lake effect snow machine.
All right, Dakota, let's hope for that. Coming
I
up
hope so.
next in sports, our Ryan Hedrick has a look at some high school games from across the region and also some big basketball to tell you about when we return.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com. Like great food, great news needs experts. Become a community reporter. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today. Speaking of great food, Jeremy's Bellevue offers pasta, classic burgers, seafood, and of course, wings. Visit Jeremy's Bellevue on Facebook.
Okay, folks, I just want to let you know from Santa that WNY News Now from Jamestown, New York is a great station. Please watch.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
The team that puts coverage first.
Defendant who was being arraigned on felony narcotics charge bolted from custody, ran through the trailer park here in the village. We're currently seeking his location.
Can you fathom somebody starting a fire?
I can't.
Honestly, knowing there are people in the building.
No, I cannot. The person had to have been sick.
Several shots rang out early Sunday morning.
They drove up by, shooting a couple rounds off.
Excited for Cameron, he was the only senior we had there, and he's put as much time or more than anyone I've ever coached. So
he says that Coach Wilcox had a tremendous impact on him, both on and off the mat.
The Jamestown Red Raider Marching Band is getting ready to set off to Chicago for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at PhoneZoneShop.com.
From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's a look at what's trending. High school hoops up top. Southwestern rallies to beat Maple Grove in its own tournament. 52-42. Southwestern was down by nearly 20 points, but rallied to win, setting up a showdown against Randolph tonight at 7 p.m. Elsewhere, Frewsburg topped Pine Valley Central 62-48, and state-ranked Ellicottville beat state-ranked Chautauqua Lake 82-65. In the NBA, it was a bad night for most local teams, including the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were on a West Coast road trip, and they kicked off that road trip in bad fashion, losing to the Sacramento Kings, of all people. Vince Carter gets the ball inside to Willie Cauley-Stein, and Cauley-Stein finishes with a two-hand thunder slam. Now, waning moments in the fourth quarter. The Kings already up 14. Garrett Temple knocks down the long-range three. The Kings would go on to beat the Cavs 109-95. The Knicks and the Bulls, fourth quarter. Knicks leading by 3, 86-83. Justin Holiday hits the corner three to tie the game at 86. Fourth quarter now, the Bulls leading 90-87. Enes Kanter gets the pass off the inbounds and misses the potential game-tying three-pointer. The Bulls win 92-87. Pittsburgh Steelers reacting to the news of former Steeler James Harrison's move to the New England Patriots. Here's Ben Roethlisberger.
You know, that's on James. If they want to ask him every single piece of information he has, then you know that's this league. I guess other people do that too. So I'm not worried about it. We don't play them this week. We don't play them next week. So we'll see.
Center Marquise Pouncey did not mince words when talking about the future Hall of Famer.
Erase the legacy, really? It's pretty strong.
You don't think so?
You tell me. It's your locker room. I mean,
I would think so as a fan. It's crazy. It blows my mind.
Hey, how about this? The Pittsburgh Penguins getting a win. Let me take you to the third period where Sidney Crosby puts the game away with a goal to beat Columbus 5-4. The Penguins struggling this year, a big win on Wednesday night. I'm Ryan Hedrick from the Phone Zone Sports Desk. It all unfolds here.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Hey, welcome back to News Now. The Lucille M. Wright Air Museum here in downtown Jamestown is closing its doors to make way for an expansion of the National Comedy Center training team. Our Ryan Hedrick was there yesterday as crews removed the final displays from the 3rd Street storefront.
All flights are grounded in the Lucille M. Wright Air Museum here on the corner of 3rd and North Main Streets in the city of Jamestown as the museum moves its contents into storage, says museum president Ellen Adornowski.
It was a sad day when I heard. We're going to put it in storage until we can find a building, and then we're going to move into the building afterwards and find a curator and go from there.
So why is the museum moving out? Good question. Well, the National Comedy Center owns this building. They said they need to expand their training base as we get closer to the opening of the National Comedy Center. What's your favorite memory from this space?
Being here. That's it. You know, and the kids really like it, so.
The museum has not found a home yet, but the museum's president says when they do, she hopes they could get their wings defrosted in time for a new opening. I'm Ryan Hedrick, WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Alrighty, thank you, Ryan. That is bittersweet here in downtown Jamestown to see such a landmark go. I never really got a chance to fully check it out. I've always walked by working here in downtown, seeing these huge airplanes. I mean, the little ones that they were kind of wrapping up yesterday doesn't do it justice. I know a few weeks ago they pulled out these giant planes that were in there. And so hopefully they can find somewhere else to reopen and put stuff back. And, you know, seeing the National Comedy Center, obviously it's their building, they can do what they want with it, but kind of taking that back office spaces and things like that obviously are important.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Right, right. It's not always going to be the popular decision. So, but
you always got to do what you need to do. And, I never had a chance to go there either. How long has it been open?
I think at least like a good probably 7 or 8 years. Like it's been in downtown for a while. I know that the old Lucy Center,
right?
Like they've used that space before, a long time ago. But when this museum opened up, I know it's been there for a bit, and I believe, I know Storm's trying to fact check that for us now, but I believe that it's kind of been a work in progress. I know that the woman there, Ella, is also in charge of the Civil Air Patrol, which helps kids in this area, who maybe are interested in the military or law enforcement or what have you. It's kind of like almost like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts type thing. Where boys and girls and young men and women can go there. I know I graduated with a kid in high school who went in there. I don't want to give out his name without his permission.
Oh, go ahead.
His name was Nick, and that's as far I'm going to take it. But he went in there, and then he moved on to the Air Force, and now he's serving our country. So it's really to have things like that, to continue to hold the history, and then also advance too for our young people is just incredible.
I mean, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with airplanes. It's like, I have a fear of flying, but I don't know, just airplanes are kind of cool. They're just kind of cool little machines.
When I go to Florida this spring, we're going to try to fly out of Jamestown in those tiny little planes.
Yeah, so you're going to fly to
Pittsburgh.
Okay, so
and then from Pittsburgh to Florida.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. It's exciting. So Storm couldn't find anything that's sad, but no worries, Storm. So with that, it's cold.
Yes.
Hopefully by the time I leave for Florida, it's not so cold. It's
wishful thinking.
3 months away from now, so
maybe. Let's take a look at that extended forecast brought to you by Quick Solutions one final time for this Thursday. So pretty much you can see pretty much for today, 12 degrees. That'll do it. Snow showers throughout the day today, and tomorrow will be the warmest, used figuratively, when we make it to 17. That's going to be the highest temperature we're going to see for the next 7 days, so enjoy that. And again, New Year's Eve, definitely chance for being a record breaker, possibly the coldest New Year's Eve we've seen since 1962, when temperatures will be at or below zero at the strike of midnight. So if you're going to Buffalo for the ball drop, or if you're making that trip to New York City, anywhere, if you're watching the ball drop, you need to really, really bundle up. It's going to be cold, and this cold factor lasts throughout the next
Real
7 days.
quick, Heidi wants to know, Heidi Wait, traveling to Buffalo tomorrow. She going to be okay?
You'll probably be okay for the early hours. If you're going to be coming back, especially later on in the afternoon, into the evening, you're probably going to run into a lake ban, especially in northern Chautauqua County and southern Erie counties. But the drive there looks pretty good.
Awesome. Dakota, thank you as always. Be sure to join us right back here tomorrow for our TGIF edition of News Now. In the meantime, head to the best website in the 716. It's WNYNewsNow.com, where coverage comes first. Have a great Thursday.
See you tomorrow.